Friday. As most of you know, I don't know about most, but a lot of you know that I just got back from Florida, and you look, I don't know what you look exclamation point is today, but thank you, Joel, my husband. So I just got back from Florida. I was there for a Bold House event. You guys have heard me talk about Bold House. I will talk more about Bold House later today. But I was in Fort Lauderdale for a corporate retreat, and it was fabulous at first. And then the hurricane came. So it was a little dicey whether I was going to get out or not. I spent the night, I spent the night in the airport instead of in my hotel room, which, you spend a lot of money for a hotel room. You kind of want to stay there. But I was worried that I wasn't going to get to the airport, so I went ahead and just got to the airport before the storm, and so spent the night. So yesterday, oh my gosh, I was so wiped. So here we are. So today, I am behind today. You'll see as we go through today's exercise just how behind I am. But I could not be more excited. For today's exercise. I'm just so excited because minds are going to be blown. Like, you're all going to go like, oh my gosh, I get it now. I get it. And that's just my favorite thing. Before we get into today's exercise, a couple of important things that I want to talk about. First of all, you should have received, you should have seen the post in the group. You should have received 2 emails at this point. And you will continue to receive emails over the next 3 days, because we just want to make sure that you understand what's happening with Intuit. As a reminder, we are not Intuit. Okay, we do not work for Intuit. We don't have any inside knowledge about what's happening with Intuit. We just work with their products. And they announced a few days ago that the training portal inside your QBO-A account is changing. So let me just share my screen for a minute and show you what I mean. Okay, so here I am inside a QBO-A account. That's a QuickBooks Online accountant account. And you can tell you're in an accountant account because it says accountant up here, because the left navigation bar is gray, and because it's broken into this section. It's called Your Practice versus Your Books right here. Okay, so the left, it looks a little bit different and it behaves differently. Okay, so if you're in an accountant account, you go to Pro Advisor and go to Training. This is the training portal. Okay, the training portal is divided into these 4 sections: Home, Personalized Path, Certification Hub, and Training Library. And they announced that they are launching a brand new training portal. Remember when I said we are not into it? I don't have any inside knowledge. I don't know what's happening, okay? But I do know this, that you have to, if you are wanting to get certified under the existing program, then you have to start your test no later than October 3rd. You have to finish your test no later than October 11th. Let me explain what this means, okay? I'll take you off screen share so I'm not so tiny. Okay, so let me explain what this means. Every certification, there are 3 certification tests: basic level, what they call core certification, advanced, and payroll. Okay, so 3 certification tests, and each of the certification tests are divided into sections. Well, let me first start by saying the basic certification test is required before you can take advanced or payroll. You can't even unlock it, open it, see it, nothing. Okay, so you have to take that basic or core level certification test first. So now, each of the tests is divided into 5 sections, okay? And each section can be taken independently, okay? So you take one section, you start it, you finish it, you submit it, okay? Then you take section 2, you start it, and this can be over multiple days, okay? One certification test one section of the test you have to do in one sitting, okay? So and it's not timed. We'll put in the, actually, if Joel, if you could just put in the chat, I didn't give you this, but just type it out, www.fastandeasy.com/everything, okay? So that is our everything. We call it everything you ever wanted to know about QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. It's a mouthful. We call it our everything doc, okay? It is all of the information about the Pro Advisor program, okay? There we go. Joel's got it there. Thank you. So that document's in there. And so it answers all the questions about, is the test timed and how long do you have, and like all of that stuff. Okay. So everything I'm going to say, I'm not going to repeat it. You can just grab that document. Okay. So when you submit a test, each section is not timed. You have as long as you want to take it. And you can take all 5 sections over a course of several days. But what they're saying is that once that you will no longer be able to start a new test after October 3rd. Okay. So and that means you won't be able to click the thing. You won't be able to start a new test. And if you have started a test, and what they mean by started a test is if you have submitted at least one section of the test, then you have to finish the remaining sections by October 11th. Okay. So if you are wanting to get certified, then you've got to wrap it up. You've got to get going. You've got to get it done. Okay. And so people are also asking about our Fast and Easy programs. So our certification programs, so we have courses that help you prepare for the certification test. Okay. So our courses, they match exactly what you need to know for the certification test. That is only for the existing tests and program. Okay. Now, when the year changes, and this happens every year around this time, typically not until November. So the fact that they're doing it in October is throwing us for a little bit of a loop. But in November, they will release a new training program, a new test. Okay. We have no idea, no inside knowledge. We have no idea what that new program will be, whether it will be the same 3 certification test. We have no idea. I don't think they'll completely get away from the Pro Advisor program in general, but they may have new certifications. They may combine certifications, have multiple, I have no idea. I have no idea what is going to happen. Okay. So if it is like every other year and they just, redo it and it's still, say, 3 certifications again, basic, advanced, and payroll, and if that's the same, then we'll create our matching courses, and everyone who has purchased up until that, you'll get the new version and no charge. When you purchase a course from us, you get it for life. Okay, so you're not going to get. So if you get the new, if it's the same program, and all we have to do is update it. It takes us a couple months to do that, but you will get the new one. If it is entirely different, if it's an entirely new program, which it very well could be, then like, we're just going to have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Like, I don't know. Okay. So apparently our support desk, poor Anthony, is getting flooded with questions about like what's going to happen after the new year. And the short answer, I don't know. I don't know. So that's the first thing that I wanted to tell you before we get into today's exercise. The second thing is, hopefully you saw the email that went out this morning. Also, I talked about it last week, is the G3 intensive. Okay. So the G3 intensive is coming up. This is an expanded version of our, what we just are wrapping up at the end of September is the Get Clients cohort. Okay. So the Get Clients cohort has been for the month of September. We've got 100 people in there, and basically what we're doing is we're holding your feet to the fire, keeping you accountable, making sure that you are actually doing the things that you need to do in order to get clients, be successful. Okay, so what we're doing is we're expanding that so that, and it's going to start October 1st. It's going to run through December 31st so that you can spend the rest of this year kicking butt in your business. Okay, so it's going to include, if you need help, if you need us to help you stay accountable to like get those certs done by October 11th, we're going to help you do that. That is a huge component of this is the QBO Gym, which I will talk about more. But this is how you're going to get in this period of time a year's worth of experience doing bookkeeping. Okay, so those of you who say, oh, I passed the test, or like, how do I get an internship, or how do I like find out like what is, how do I find out what, like what it's really like to be a bookkeeper? This is the answer. So you sign up for the QBO Gym and you get simulated work experience actually being a bookkeeper. Okay, so we're going to help you get a full year of experience at least, well, we think that you can we're holding you to 6 months. We want you to get 6 months of experience, but we can, you can get a full year's of experience. You can get more than a year's of experience if you put your mind to it, okay? We currently have about a year and a half available for you to do it, okay? So we're going to help you do that. We are also going to help you get your marketing in order and use the 3-2-1 method to actually go out there and get conversations with people. Okay, we can't control whether you actually get a client, but what we can control, or we can help you do, is stay accountable to do the things that you need to do in order to have client conversations, whether that's a diagnostic review or consultation or whatever. Okay, so that is coming up. We're starting October 1st. We did not have the sales page ready when the newsletter went out this morning, so hopefully over the next couple of days we'll have that. But if that's something that you know that you want to do, then email support@fastandeasyqbo.com. We're setting up a waiting list so that you guys will right away, we'll make sure that as soon as it's available, the sign up page, all your questions answered, what the requirements are, how much it costs, like all of that stuff is going to be, we'll have that in the next couple of days. Okay. All right, let's see. Do you have to purchase the recertification course every year? So the recertification course is for Fast and Easy QBO is a subscription. Okay, so it's an annual subscription. That means that every year you get our recertification materials. Okay, through Intuit, it's free. If you don't have to buy, you never have to buy our stuff, guys. Like, we're just here to help you. We're not here to like our goal is not to just sell a bunch of stuff. Our goal is to help you achieve your goals. So you can study with Intuit for free. You can take the recertification test for free. People struggle because of the style of teaching that Intuit, and because of the way the programs have been set up, people in the past, People struggle with that. That's why we exist, is to help those of you who are struggling learn it in a faster, easier way. It all, I'll just, some of you have heard this before, I'll just tell you again. I personally am not a good reader. It comes from, I have a brain disorder, and it's not a learning disability. I learn just fine. I just don't learn from reading. Reading is just not good for me. So when I went through the Intuit training and it was all reading, I really struggled. And I just thought, I could teach this in a way that people would better understand it by doing, by hearing. It's video based, by actually doing exercises. So you're learning hands-on. You're not just reading about it. Was like you're just reading about software. How can you learn software just by reading about it? So anyway, Randy says this is what was I saying about? I was saying about the reason we exist is to help you. Like, you can do all of this stuff for free, but some people you could also go to public school for free, and some people choose to go to private school. So that's where it is. Okay. Let's see. So Randy says, this is a great idea, going back to the cohort. The 1 month cohort has been too intense for me, but this sounds doable and so helpful. I don't know, Randy, it's going to be like the same level of intensity. So I don't know. It's just going to be for a longer period of time. So maybe this won't be for you either. I don't know. This is for people who are serious about getting it done, and who just need like that group community accountability, like somebody to like hold their feet to the fire to do it. Okay. All right. Kim says, I struggle because they no longer, now this is going back to what Intuit was saying, I struggle because they no longer provide written materials to support the online items. This is this is going back to the Intuit problems. Yes, they used to provide like a textbook kind of thing for for each of their training stuff. They don't do that. But again, I have no idea how it's all going to change. Maybe it's going to go back to that. Maybe one of the complaints is that the materials, the way they are online, are not searchable. So when you're taking the test, you can't go and then search for like that random thing that you learned that now they're going to test you on. So maybe they're going to add that in. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be more video-based training. Maybe I have no idea. No idea. Okay. Will the practice workouts be available while we wait on Intuit? Yes, the gym is not affected. The only thing that is affected, and this live stream's not affected. The only thing that's affected are those of you who are doing the certifications. Let's see. Uyi says, the cohort was so good for me. I sent out my first engagement letter and waiting for payment to come for an e-commerce integration setup. Awesome. My LinkedIn, this is all her. My LinkedIn engagement has so grown. I'm being recognized by my niche and know how to use LinkedIn better. And trust Margie Remmers-Davis when she says LinkedIn is the place. I saw that in the cohort. Awesome. Okay, so yes. In the G3 intensive, which is going to be a 90 days, 3-month cohort, we're going to like do all of that stuff. What sets it apart that's different from the current cohort. So the current cohort is just that last piece. It's just that getting clients. This new cohort that we're going to do, and I'll tell you, we are tentatively thinking that we're going to do this every quarter. Like every quarter, I don't know, I probably shouldn't say that because it's all tentative. So we are, but yes, it's spread out. It is going to have that getting clients component, but it's also getting you that work experience, which people are craving the actually learning and practicing being a bookkeeper. Okay, let's see. Patricia says, I need to get more comfortable and knowledgeable with LinkedIn. I'm not sure how to find people to connect with. It seems business owners you can only follow and not connect with. Okay, well, we'll teach you all how to do that. That's part of what we teach you in the cohort. So let's get started. So we're 23 minutes in. Let's get started in our exercise today because I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited. I'm so excited for today's exercise. And we're 23 minutes in. I haven't even done, I had to get all of that off my chest. And so I didn't even do my introduction. So let's do that now. Welcome to our weekly live stream that we hold every week inside our free Facebook group called the QBO Gym Locker Room. The QBO Gym Locker Room is your spot for hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. Okay, so if you join the locker room, you automatically get a free getting started course. Remember I talked about the everything document where you learn all of the ins and outs of the Pro Advisor program. That's included. Is it included? I think it's included. You learn what is QuickBooks Online Accountant, which is different than the regular accountant version that small business owners use. The special accountant version allows you to connect to multiple clients, so you can do work for multiple clients at once. We teach you how to get your QBO-A account, how to use it, terminology, workflows, how to navigate, and of course, it would not be a Fast and Easy QBO course if it did not have hands-on exercises to actually help you click through and do the thing so that you're actually learning how to do that. If you are watching this, if you're watching this live, meaning you are already in the locker room and you don't know how to we gave you your free getting started course when you signed up, but if you don't know how to access it, then reach out to support at fastandeasyqbo.com and we will teach you, we'll remind you how to access it. You got an email, but emails get lost, whatever. Okay. All right. So that is your free getting started course. You also, as a member of the locker room, get access to over 100 free exercises. And these are hands-on exercises where you get to actually practice and use QuickBooks Online. So it's not just theory. It's not just watching a video. It's actually doing the thing. Okay. So when people join the locker room, they always ask, okay, where do I get those exercises? And here is where. You go to the featured section. Now, you should be able to see a featured section that looks like this. There's also a tab that says featured, and if you are on your phone, you might have to click that little hamburger up in the upper left-hand corner to see it. But that's where the features, and it is the first post here that is pinned in the featured section. It says, welcome to the locker room, and inside there is a link to those exercises. Also, when you first joined the locker room, in addition to your getting started course, you actually got an email with all of the same information that says, welcome to the locker room. You got an email and has the link in there also to access those exercises. Okay. And then also as a member of the QBO Gym Locker Room, you get a free exercise of the week, which is what we do here in our weekly live stream, which is every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So you can join us live. You get the link if you're here live. And if you're watching the recording of this on YouTube, then you can get the link by joining the locker room and getting the link while you're on the live stream. Okay. All right. So the exercise of the week is part of our paid program. So we're giving you all of this free stuff, but we also have our paid subscription. That's not it. This one here, our paid product, which is called the QBO Gym. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The QBO Gym is simulated experience being a bookkeeper. You can think of it as your first client. All of you who say, oh, well, I got certified or I know QBO a little bit or whatever, but I don't really know what it's like being a bookkeeper. How do I get experience? I can't get a job without experience. I can't get experience out of a job. Can I volunteer someplace? Can I Can I shadow you? Like, can I shadow you as a bookkeeper so I can see what you're doing? All of that is what you do inside of the QBO gym. Okay, so it is a way for you to get experience actually being a bookkeeper. It is broken up into we kind of have like this gym theme. So we've got our warm-ups, cardio, strength training, and cool down. Every month you have a strength training is a deep dive into a particular feature in QuickBooks Online. But as you're going through this, you're actually doing the things hands-on. So you're processing bank feeds, and you're sending invoices, and you're paying bills, and you're reconciling bank accounts, and you're running reports, okay? All of that good stuff. And as you do that, everything that you do is I do this every time. Forgot to click the thing. Everything that you do is captured in your Booksmatch dashboard. So Booksmatch is our dashboard. All of our courses come with dashboard or with Booksmatch. This is how you access your courses. But if you have an active subscription to the gym, then everything that you do is tracked. So here we have, Billy as our top person today. And you can see that Billy has verified 397 skills. We break all of the skills as you are earning them in the gym. We break them into these 10 skill groups. And so you can click on any of the skill groups and you can see what skills specifically. So Billy here has practiced errors with checks, what to do about negative inventory. And then also you can compare how well you're doing to everybody that's in the gym. Okay, so this is how well Billy is doing himself, and then this is the average of everybody else. So we take all of that information and we realize that this is not just good information for you to see how well you're doing, but also we can share it with the world so that your prospective clients can see, people can choose to hire you based on, the skills that you have achieved and like what you know how to do. So in order to do that, we track 3 very specific metrics. The first one is knowledge. This is the breadth of knowledge that you have learned, the skills, that you have actually practiced and done in the gym. That is the skills. Well, your knowledge is, and how much you've been able to do is highly affected by how long you've been in the gym. So I don't know how long Billy's been in, but if you've been in for a year, you're going to have a lot more skill points saved up than somebody who just started. And we don't want somebody who's been around a lot we don't want the person who's just started to be disadvantaged, okay? So because of that, in addition to knowledge, we track speed. Now, speed is not how fast you do an exercise. It is how quickly you are adding exercises. So if you are brand new, but you're kicking butt, you're going to have a high speed metric, and we're going to rank you high because of that high speed, okay? And then the middle one is consistency, and consistency is actually the most important metric. We want to know that you are actively, constantly upskilling. At least every 2 weeks, you are doing an exercise, you're adding skills, and that's why we have an exercise of the week. Is we have, if somebody has come in, they've done everything there is to do in the gym, they still need to be able to demonstrate their consistency, and so that's why we have an exercise of the week. But the bonus is that even if you're not in the gym, if you come to the live stream, you can get the exercise of the week, which is what we are doing today right now. Okay, the exercise of the week is its own course. You automatically get it though when you are an active member of the gym and you have earned at least 250 points. The reason that we don't unlock it sooner is because you don't need it. You've got tons and tons of things that you can do. The reason we unlock it at all is because so many people ask for it. They're like, oh, I want that exercise again from when we were doing the live stream. So here we are on the, oops, sorry about that. That's just my little admin panel. Okay, so here we are, the exercise of the week, and this is what we're going to be doing today, is we're going to be talking about cash versus accrual-based accounting. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited about this because I'm sorry to interrupt, Tracy. I am going to record a new one. The debits and credits in the old in that previous YouTube, which is out there. I promise it's out there. But it's so buried inside that I'm going to create a video that is specific to debits and credits. So just FYI. All right, so back to what I was talking about. All right, so we're talking about cash versus accrual accounting. The reason this is exciting to me is because, you know, when you go through the course and you take the test, all you have to know, I'm going to take myself off of there so I'm not so tiny. Okay. When you go through the test and you, all you have to know is like a general understanding of accrual-based accounting. And I will go through it right now again. Okay. So cash-based accounting. Oh, that's good. My phone is ringing. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear that on the on the recording. Anyway, so cash-based accounting means that you are only paying attention to, reporting on the money that is actually in your hand or the money that has actually left your hands. Okay, so if you are sending an invoice, okay, let's say you send an invoice to somebody for $1,000. You don't have that money yet, okay? So you don't get to count it as income when you're cash-based accounting, okay? When you are accrual-based accounting, you do get to count that as income, okay? You get to count that $1,000 even though you don't have it physically in your hands. You know that it's coming, and so you do get to count that income. The reverse is true with expenses. So if I pay a bill, okay, that's money that has come out, that's going to be counted. If I have not yet paid a bill, so I got my telephone bill, but I haven't paid it yet, when it's cash-based accounting, then that's not an expense yet. Okay, that's not on the bottom half yet. Okay, if it is accrual-based accounting, so if you got a bill, let's say you got a bill for $950, that would be a big telephone bill, but let's say you did. Okay, so you got a bill for $950. In cash-based accounting, it doesn't show yet as an expense. In accrual-based accounting, it does show as an expense. So if you're doing an accrual and you have that $1,000 invoice, that's woohoo, $1,000 that it looks like you've made, but then also you have this $950 expense, so actually I've only made $50. Okay, that's accrual. Accrual is all about the future. A cash basis is all about right now. Okay, so in this exercise today, we are going to take a look at how the reports are different. Now, I have a confession to make, and that is I did not finish editing the exercise. My bad. So Joel will put it in the chat, so you can grab it if you're not a member of the gym or the exercise of the week isn't unlocked. You can grab it. But what I'm going to recommend is, usually I want you to click with me as we're doing it, but it's going to be easier for you to just follow along, and then later, once I've finished editing it, then do like the exercise yourself, okay? Because, yeah, it's there that I just need to I just need to finish editing the exercise, okay? All right, so let's take a look. Oh, last week, I was on a call with a business owner, and it was on that call I realized that business owners do not know what accrual accounting is. Here in Canada, small business owners don't have a choice. They have to use accrual accounting. So, so that's a really good point. And actually, I have it in the do it now. I thought about putting it in the exercise. Oh, it's in the marketing prompt. So in the United States, you do not have to use, businesses do not have to use accrual accounting until they're at $3 million revenue or something like that. Okay, so the US government, the IRS, doesn't require that. Why would you not want to use accrual accounting? Well, because you're taxed on your revenue, right? So if you made $1 million, if you're on accrual accounting, and you have $1 million worth of contracts, but you haven't received a penny of that $1 million, you still have to pay taxes on the $1 million, okay? Even though you don't have it in your hands, because that's what accrual accounting is. Accrual accounting is, this is coming in the future, right? So a lot of businesses avoid doing accrual accounting as long as possible. But you'll see when we do the exercise how it's valuable to look at your business from the lens of accrual accounting, even if you're not actually filing with the government under accrual. The other thing to know is that you cannot get a bank loan. You can't get a bank loan for cash-based accounting. You have to do accrual-based accounting to get a bank loan. So that's just some. And then what happens, one of my colleagues here, one of the things he does is help get people, get their books in order to get a loan or to sell their business or whatever. And if they have been operating for a really long time under cash, and now they have to completely change everything to do accrual, all their reports change, and it can be a mess. And he spends a lot of time helping businesses make this transition. So it's good for you as a bookkeeper to, know the difference and show the difference for, based on the business type, but it would be valuable. Okay, so let's start on the exercise so we can put all of this into practice. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to click this so you can just see how it works. But again, we're going to want to just follow along rather than going step by step in the exercise. But I'm going to read you the scenario here. Okay, so you recently started working with Craig and gave him his profit and loss and balance sheet reports. He looked at them and noticed that the numbers were very different from what his previous bookkeeper provided. When you looked at it, you realized that his previous bookkeeper was giving him cash basis reports and you were giving him accrual basis reports. Let's take a look at the differences so you can explain it to Craig. Okay? All right, so to do this, we are going to start in the sample company. Here I am, as I showed you before, in the accountant version. Okay, so if I'm in the accountant version, it says accountant, it's gray here. It's divided up into your practice and your books. Then I'm going to click the gear icon and go to sample company. You don't want to, we were talking about the test earlier, you don't want to open the sample company while you're taking the test because it does log you out and it will log you out of your test. We, of course, with our courses teach you how to get around that, but just for the purposes. So what just to be clear, I am recommending that you, follow along click by click with me, just not using the exercise because I haven't finished editing it. But I still recommend that you follow along click by click. If you get lost, that's fine. you'll have the exercise later today. All right. So, so this was not here this morning. This is new. I think I mentioned it last week, this little pop-up here. It's not in the exercise because it wasn't in there when I recorded the exercise. But we're just going to close that. It's like a new thing. We're not going to talk about it right now. So let's go to reports. And we're going to take a look at the balance sheet. A cash basis versus accrual does affect the profit and loss, but it's more obvious on the balance sheet, and that's where we're going to spend our time today. Okay, so I'm going to go to balance sheet, and if I scroll to the top, you'll notice that it automatically selects a date range of this year to date, which is fine. We're going to keep that. And it automatically selects the accounting method as accrual. The reason that it automatically selects accrual is because Craig is set up as an accrual-based accountant. This is not in the exercise, but I'm just going to show you under the gear icon and accountant settings, under advanced, you have here the accounting method that you can set up. Okay, so this is for taxes, and I assume that it's for the default report. I didn't actually test that, but it's set up here as accrual. But you can change it by selecting this cash thing. What we're going to do today is we're going to compare the cash and the accrual reports. And so to do that, I'm going to duplicate this page. So I can do this because I'm on Chrome, and how you do it on whatever you're using might be a little bit different. But I'm going to right click and then click duplicate. And now what that does is now I have the exact same report on two different tabs. Okay, so this is one, this is two. Okay, I'm going to change this report. So this one I'm going to change to cash and click run report. And then I'm going to change this right here. I'm going to add that to the title so that when I glance at it, I can remember it. It says up here, but it's easier to just glance and make sure that I know which one I'm on. Okay, so this one is the cash one, and this one is the accrual one. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change the title here to accrual so that I can keep them straight. Okay, so we talked about how cash basis does not include the things that you're owed in the future. Okay, the things that you're owed in the future go into an account called accounts receivable. Okay, so accounts receivable is on the accrual report. It's not on the cash report. So if I go over to here, cash, you'll notice it's not even there. Okay, it's not even there. The other thing that's not counted in accrual is the value of your inventory. Now, I'm not an accountant. Don't ask me why that's not important. Maybe somebody on here is an accountant. I don't know. But inventory is not included either. Okay, so if you look at this inventory asset, that's also not on the cash report. Okay, so on the cash report, you have the checking, the savings account, all those checks that are sitting in undeposited funds waiting to be deposited. You have the money, you just haven't deposited it yet. And the cost of the truck, so the asset. So the truck that you own is considered, but the inventory is not. Okay, so that's what makes the difference on the asset side. Okay, so here we have the total assets is 200. Maybe make this a little bigger for you. Okay. So Paul says if you have inventory, you must use accrual accounting method. Okay, that's one of the rules. All right, so total assets, 23,000. Total assets, 17,000. And that's what the difference is. The difference is this one includes the accounts receivable and includes the inventory asset. Okay, now let's take a look at the liabilities. Okay, so this is the money going out. Okay, same with accounts receivable. That the accounts receivable is the money that people owe you, and accounts payable is what you owe other people. So these are the bills. That telephone bill that came in, the telephone bill came in, you haven't paid it yet. Well, in accrual, you still have you still owe it, so it's still there. Okay. Now, let's talk about these other liabilities, and this is what we're going to focus on today. Is this Board of Equalization payable? Now, a couple of weeks, oh, yes, I can. Alex, or who said that? Pam. What a great idea. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to make this its own tab. So, yeah, so Pam said do a split screen. So, thank you, Pam. That's a great idea. Let me do a split screen. Okay, so this is the cash side. Oh, and I forgot. I always forget I can actually get rid of that left nav bar. Okay, so this is the cash side. This is the accrual side. You can get rid of that guy. All right, now let's... Here we go. What a great idea, Pam. What a great idea. Okay. Here we go. So this is the cash side on the right, the accrual side on the left. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alex said inventory is not included in equity. No, inventory is an asset. Let's see. Paul says that's why it drops off in cash reports. Difference goes to COGS for cash outlays. Okay, that's about. All right, I'm not going to get. You guys are getting too deep in the weeds for what we're talking about today. But looks like we have some good resources for you guys who want to go even deeper in this. All right. So what we're going to talk about, what we're going to focus on is this Board of Equalization payable. Okay. And we're going to take a deep dive into why these two numbers are different. Okay. So what is the Board of Equalization payable? Okay, so accounts payable, we said, accounts payable, we said, oh, well, that's not even on the cash report, right? So why is this board, what is this payable, and why is it even on this report? I'm going to pause for a minute and see, because we did talk about this last week or the week before, about what this Board of Equalization payable is. See if somebody can put it in the chat. As I always say every week, there's always a little bit of a delay. So, so when I say things before they show up in my chat. So the question is, what is the Board of Equalization payable? We talked about it last week. California, yes. California what? California, it is related to California. California what? All right. Sales tax. Yay. Yes. June and Alex. Yes. This is the sales tax. Taxes collected. Taxes. Yes. Sales tax. Good job. Okay. So let's take a look at why we still have some things here on the two reports, why they appear on one report and not the other. This is the fun stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. So, in case you didn't know this, all of your reports, when you highlight a number, see how it has the how it's highlighted and it looks like a hyperlink? You can actually pull up a list of what's included in that number for the date range of the report. Okay, so I'm going to click on both of these. So the one on the right, remember, is the cash, and the one on the left is accrual. So I'm going to click that one. Let that one pull up. And then we're going to put this one. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to make the accrual a little bit bigger here so you can see the full report. Okay. So let's see what we have here. So this is automatically grouped by Board of Equalization Payable. Okay. So see up here, it says group by. That's why it has this. It's grouped all of the ones that are in that. That's because that's what we selected from the report. Then we have the date. Now this report is, we're looking at the accrual one, right? Alex, I'm not looking at the cash right now. We're just looking at the accrual. We're just talking about what these columns are. So this date right here on the accrual report, and actually I'm going to change this right here also to say accrual so we can see it. And when we get over to the cash one, we'll look at the cash. This date is the date of the invoice. Okay? This is the date of the invoice. Now, when we look at the cash report, this date is going to be the date of the payment, the date we received the money. Okay, so they both say date, but what's under the date is different. Okay, so then we have the transaction type, we have the number. Okay, so this is invoice number 1030. We have the customer. Okay, and then we have, I don't know why this is, they call it full name. So that's one of the accounts. And then we have accounts receivable. So what we're going to do, because we don't need these two columns, is we're going to change these. We're going to go to columns, and we're going to take off that full name column because we don't need it. And we're also going to take off the account column because we don't need that. And then we're going to add this AR paid status. Okay, this is huge. This is important to remember. Remember, accounts or accrual includes unpaid invoices, and in cash basis, it should include only the paid invoices. Remember, cash is we've got the money in our hand, and in accrual, you don't have the money yet, it's just promised to you. Okay, so we're going to add the AR paid, and this is going to show us the status of the invoice. Okay, so now this is the accrual side. So we've got these two are paid. This one is unpaid. This is a payment out, so we're not going to pay attention to that. Okay, so this is the status of those invoices. All right, now let's take a look at, and I'm just close this. Now let's take a look at the cash version. Okay, so here we have the cash version, and I'm going to change this again so we remember this is cash. Okay, so the cash version, what did I say about the date? Okay, the date is the date of the payment, not the date of the invoice. Okay, so here is the date, and these are going to be different. It still says date, but what it's capturing here is different. Transaction type is the same, number is the same, name, and then it's basically the same report. We're going to take off full name and account again, and we're going to add that paid status. Okay, so again, we're going to click columns. We're going to take off full name. We're going to take off account, and we're going to add AR paid. So basically that's the status. And look at something interesting. I'm going to make cash. This is the cash one. I'm going to make a little bigger so you can see. Okay, look. We have some here that say unpaid. And didn't we just say that cash is only the ones that are paid? Okay, so why would it say unpaid here? Well, we're going to do some investigating and we're going to find out. Okay, so we're going to put these side by side again. All right, let me see some chat. The chat column is blocking the numbers on the right panel. We can't see the numbers. It needs to be pulled over a little bit. Okay. Okay, I don't know what to tell you about the chat, but I will. Here, see, Pam, I thought this was such a great idea to have them side by side, but maybe not. All right, I'll try and, how far do I need to pull it over? Is that far enough? Let me know if that's far enough so that I know where you can see it. But also, you're supposed to be clicking and doing this yourself so that you can see them. All right, while I'm waiting for you to tell me, the other thing that I'm going to do to this report to make it easier to compare is I'm going to, okay, Uyi says that's far enough. Okay, good. All right, so I'll just make, so now I know where the edge is. Oops, sorry. I thought that was going to be helpful, but it's not. Okay. All right. All right, so the other, oh, what did I just do? Oh, I got out of my report. Did I? No, what did I just do? I think I just turned this into out of modern view. I don't know how I did that. Okay. All right. I lost my, this one is cash. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to, oh, and it took out my customizations. Jeez. All right, 1 second. We're taking off full name. We're taking off account. We're adding AR paid. We're closing this. Okay. All right. So, and this is the cash one. So we're like, why are there unpaid ones there? All right, this is what we're going to do some investigating. The other thing I'm going to do to make this easier to compare is I'm going to sort it by the invoice number. That way we can just look one to one, okay? So I'm going to click this little number, little arrows here. And then now it's sorted by invoice number, and I'm going to do the same on the accrual one. Sort it by invoice number. Now we have them sorted by invoice number. And now let's take a look at, we're going to compare invoice to invoice. And I just noticed my head is in the way. And I can't get rid of that top. Let's see. There, I can get rid of it a little bit. There we go. Okay. Hopefully, I'll move my head when we need to get there. Okay, so here we are looking at, why is this skinnier than this one? All right. Anyway, so here's Amy's Bird Sanctuary. Okay, we'll take a look at this one. Invoice number 10001. Okay, and it was paid. Okay, and this is, so there was $8 owed to the state of California on sales tax for this invoice, and the invoice was paid. Okay, so it's showing up on both reports. Here's the accrual one over here. Here's the cash one. It's the same. Boom. okay? That means the invoice was paid in this time period, and so it's on both reports, okay? Now, let's take a look at this next one, okay? Invoice, so on the left side is accrual. So here's invoice number 1004, okay? And it's paid, and the amount that was in the total, okay, the amount that was part of that total was $175.52. Let's look at the cash version. I'm just going to make it a little big here. Dang it. Okay. Let's look at the cash version. Look, the cash version has 2 entries. Okay? Why? Why does it have 2 entries? I'll let you guess. I'll let you guess before I tell you the answer. This one on the cash version has 2 entries, and on the accrual, it only has 1 entry. So why would that be? All right, Michelle's got to leave. All right, put on your thinking caps. Why would the cash version have exactly? Poi and Alex got it because they made 2 payments on 1 invoice. In the accrual version, it only keeps track of it when you create the invoice. Okay, so you create the invoice, and at that moment it shows up on the report. In the cash version, it only shows up when it's paid. So they made 2 different payments, and we can verify that. So let me go, I'm gonna click on, I could do it on either side, it doesn't matter. If I click on the number, that will open up the invoice. There's the invoice, okay? And look, 2 payments made. I click that, sure enough, there's 2 payments. Now don't get lost on this amount. This is the amount of the invoice. The report that we're looking at is the amount of the sales tax, okay? So the total is $175.52, okay? So yes, so that's why it shows up on the cash report. It shows up twice. On the accrual report, it only shows up 1 time, okay? All right, so let's make this, do it side by side again. Okay, so that's that one, 104. So now we have 105. What's the status here? 105. They both show up. They're the same. Wait a minute. What? Why is this one only $3.70 and this one is $4? Why is this in the accrual, it's $4, and this one on the cash is only $3.70? Oh, and let's look at this other thing. I'm going to have to make this bigger. Look, it says unpaid. Remember, it's not supposed to be on the cash report unless it's paid, right? So what's the story there? Why does it show up? This one might be a tough one. You might not know off the top of your head. Why is it even showing up on the cash report if it's unpaid? And why is it $3.70 when the other one is $4? Partial payments. Yay, Lisa and Paul. Good. Yes, partial payments. So here's the cool thing about QuickBooks Online is that the payment, it automatically calculates how much of that should be sales tax. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Okay, let's go to 100. Again, you could do this on either one. We're going to click the invoice. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. Okay, so here's the invoice. okay? The original invoice total was $54. The tax owed on it was $4, okay? So that's why on our accrual report, we have $4 showing, because that's what the invoice is. The invoice is $4, okay? But then they made a payment. Before they made a payment, it didn't show up at all on the cash report, okay? Alex, I'll come back to you. Amanda, yes, okay. So when the invoice was created, now it's on the accrual report and it's for the whole $54. $4 is showing up in that payable, okay? And that happens right when the invoice is created. When it's partially paid, that's when it shows up on the the cash report. But how does it know that it should be $3.70? Well, we're going to do some fancy math. Where's my calculator? Oh man, my Mac has failed me. Hold on. I gotta pull up my calculator. Go to, I don't know why it's not on my calculator. There we go. Ooh, it's tiny for you. Can I make it bigger? It doesn't look like I can make it bigger. Hopefully that's good enough. Oh, you can't even see it. What? Wait, what happened? There we go. Oh my gosh, how come you can't see my calculator? Aww. All right, well, you'll have to trust me then and do your own math. I don't know why my calculator isn't showing up on the view screen. Oh man. All right, so here's the math you'll have to do on your own. Use your own calculator or pull up a scratch pad or whatever, okay? $50 is what we received. So $50 divided by $54 is the total of the invoice, okay? So that means, when you do that, 50 divided by 54, you're going to get a number that is 9.9259259. I guess it just repeats, okay? So 0.9, so it's basically 92.5% of the bill was paid, okay? So they are going to consider that 92% of the sales tax was paid. So take that number, whatever you get, 50 divided by 54, multiply that by $4, and what do you get? Is Margie showing the invoice screen? No. Oh yeah, I am showing. Oh. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's why you couldn't see my calculator. It's because my screen was frozen. Yes. Okay, so let's do this again. Now, just close the calculator. Dang it. I cannot believe I did that. Okay, hold on. Let me pull that up. Calculator. Okay, there we go. There's my calculator again. Yes, $3.70. You guys did it. I'll show it to you. $50 is how much we received. $54 is how much was owed. So that's 0.9 whatever. We're going to multiply that by 4. And now we get $3.70. And that's why $3.70 is now logged on the cash basis report. Okay? Poi says, basically cash basis gives a detailed report splitting the overall amount to total amount paid and taxes, while accrual just shows the overall amount including the taxes. The key thing to remember is that the cash basis is what you have in hand, okay? Accrual is what is coming in the future. And that includes what has already come, but also includes what is in the future, okay? So the cash basis report is only going to include what you have in hand. So if somebody gives you, in this case, $50, okay, of that $50, what portion of it is sales tax and what portion of it actually goes against accounts receivable? So $3.70 is the portion of the $54 that was actually received. Okay, no, it was the portion of the $50 that was actually received. Now, just to confuse you one more time, I'm going to show you something else. Okay, so let's take a look at this. 105, again, this is the one we were just looking at, 105. Okay, so here's the payment. I'm going to open up this. I'm going to right click it and open it in a new tab, because if I don't do that, I'm going to lose my place. Okay, so this is the received payment. We got that $50. We applied it to 1005. If I look at the transaction journal, don't kill me. Don't kill me. If I look at the transaction journal, look at this. It's crediting the whole $50 to accounts receivable. That $3.70 going to the sales tax payable, not on here at all. Don't ask me why. I don't work for Intuit. I'm not the engineer. I don't know why, but it does do it correctly on the report. Okay. Thoroughly confused. Thank goodness for replays. Oh my gosh. Yes. And you'll have the exercise where I'm showing each of these things. Okay? So, that explains, here we are on the cash report. Here we are on the accrual report. Okay, so let's look at this next one. 106, $6.40. 106, $6.40. So that one is paid. You would expect now that all of the ones, I don't know why that doesn't go all the way. You would expect now that all of the ones that say paid match up, okay? Even though these two are separate, they were two separate payments, the totals should match what you see on the accrual, okay? So all of the ones that are paid, so here's one, let's see. This one is paid $6.40, there we go, 106. I gotta make this. Actually, I'm gonna change this up and get rid of the memo description. That will give us some more room. Oh, refresh. Memo description. Okay, so that'll give us some more room here. There we go. There we go. I still don't know why my top one, like this part is so much fatter than this part. Maybe it's just a little, I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. All right, so let's see. Here we have this one. 1013 is the same, right? Because that one's paid. Here we have another one that is different, 1021. Here's 1021. This one says $34, and this one says $16.30. And you know it's unpaid. Now you know. Now we know why why this is the case. Okay? So if I look at, I should expect to see the exact same thing. So if I click this, 1021, I should be able to see, yep, one payment made. So here's one payment made. And if we pull up the calculator, oh my gosh, my Mac is failing me. I don't know why my calculator is not staying on the dock. Here we go. Keep in dock. There we go. So here's my calculator. How much did we receive? We received 220. 220 out of 239. So that's again 92% of it. Times, what was the full tax amount? $34. Oops. So $31.30. So that's what we should expect to see on the cash basis report. Where'd it go? Oh, no, it's not. Why is it only $16.30? Let's look at that again. Oh, because I did the wrong total. So I did 220, it's 220 out of 459. That's what it should be. 220, that's how much was paid off of the entire total, which was 459. So that's 4.79% times 34 equals $16.30. And that's what we should expect to see on the cash basis report. And there it is. All right? And then these will match up because they're paid. All right, let's see. Let me go back to the chat now that we have. I was so excited about today because I was like, oh my gosh, they're finally going to get it. They're going to see and understand exactly how this works. And now I think people are just more confused. All right. So Uyi made a comment about the sales tax center. So let me tell you just a little bit about sales tax in the sample company. So there was a classic sales tax, and then there's the new modern sales tax. And in order to use the sales tax center, you have to turn on the new modern sales tax, which is not automatically. So we can't actually go to the sales tax center. We would have to set up the whole new modern, and then all of these old invoices have the old sales tax. So I can't even necessarily, I don't know that I could actually show you or that it would be any clearer in the sales tax center. So sorry about that. So Paul says, always use accrual reports when preparing sales tax returns. QBO has crazy calculations on when cash basis reports, and most states want you to report on accrual basis anyway. So that's an important point. Today is not a lesson on sales tax, but yes, the states themselves will say whether they are based on accrual or cash basis. And then he goes on to say, it's even crazier with partial payments of invoices on cash basis for sales tax. So yes, thank you, Paul. Okay, all right. He says, I'm still excited. It's great to see the behind the scenes calculations. So yes, the important thing to understand is the difference between cash basis and accrual. But what can be difficult if you don't understand the inner workings of that is why it would show up at all. Okay. Now I'm going to go, this is not part of the exercise, but I am going to go just real quick to show you the, you can do it on your own. The profit and loss reports for cash and accrual are quite different, which you might think, well, that doesn't make any sense because with accrual, we're just talking about accounts receivable. But again, it has to do with whether you have received the money or not. So just really quickly, here's what our numbers look like under accrual. And then if I switch it to cash, boom, look at how different that became. Design income, just right off the top, it went down to 862. Let me put it back on accrual. Look, it's a huge difference. Why is there that huge difference? It's because this, when it's on accrual, it's accounting for the invoices that haven't been paid. That's really what it is, the invoices that have gone out and haven't been paid. All right, let's wrap this up with a conversation about marketing prompts. So let's talk about marketing prompts. Now, every exercise of the week comes with a marketing prompt. Why do we have marketing prompts? It's because we had so many people who were saying that I know that I need to post on social media, but I don't know what to say. And I just thought, how do you not know what to say? You're always, when you're in the gym, you're constantly learning something. So we have just made it a little bit more clear for you. And when you're in the gym proper, as you go through it and you earn those skill points, you also earn marketing prompts so that you know what to say. And I have a very exciting news. For the last several weeks, for some reason, you were not able to copy and paste the marketing prompts from the gym. That has been fixed. Hallelujah. So now you can copy and paste them. And that's in the gym proper. This, what we're looking at here is the exercise of the week. I will make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So the exercise of the week, today, after we've spent all this time on cash versus accrual, you can then post on social media something like this. And we're calling them QBO Quick Tips. So you've probably heard from your accountant that there is a difference between cash and accrual accounting. And you may even have been told that your business is too small to need accrual. But do you really understand what makes them different and how the numbers show up on reports in QuickBooks Online? It could make a huge difference in how you make your business decisions. Let's get together to discuss. Okay? So that is something that you could post now that we've had this whole conversation on cash versus accrual. This is a thing that you could post on your social media to get eyeballs and to get attention. Now, typically, at this point, I launch into the 3-2-1 method for how to use that. I'm not going to do that today in the interest of time. Unless somebody begs me in the chat, then we can stay on later, and because I want to let everybody go who's heard me say it a million times. But this is one of the things that we work on in the cohort. Is we teach you how to sign up on LinkedIn, get signed up, like what your profile should say, how to grow your network, how to use these marketing prompts to attract attention. And basically you're adding value so that, what I see a lot of people doing is see them posting an ad all the time. I always say that, and I'm going to actually take my screen off for a second. One of the analogies I always make is, one of the analogies that I always make is a real estate agent. how many real estate agents do you know? Okay. And the reason that you know these real estate agents is because they are constantly telling you they are real estate agents, right? They're constantly posting and telling you they are real estate agents. You have to get in the habit of doing the same thing. You have to constantly say you're a bookkeeper. Although I think it's more effective, instead of saying you're a bookkeeper, to say that you are a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. If you're not a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, get that certification. Get it so that you have the expert status, you have the badge, you have the certificate. You can then say, I am a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Again, if you don't have the certification, you need to get it. You need to get started on taking the test by October 3rd. You have to finish taking the test by October 11th. But that is not a big deal because our Fast and Easy course can get you to ready to take the test in about 5 hours. Seriously, it's not a big deal. So you're going to get that certification, then you have that status, and you can use that status and tell business owners, yes, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. If you ever need any help, let's stay connected. Okay. And then in the cohort, you're going to learn how to take these QBO Quick Tips and turn them into, you're going to learn how to use Canva. You're going to learn how to actually put these in. You're going to learn how to reach out to people, what to say, all of that good stuff. So again, if you're interested, our current cohort's wrapping up, but if you want to be a part of that, for the next one that's coming up, make sure you email support@fastandeasyqbo.com so we can put you on the wait list because the sales page is not quite ready. But anyway, okay. Let's see. All right. Lynn says, one of the rules was that if you have inventory, you must use accrual. Who determines that rule, the IRS or the accountant? I think that was Paul who said that. Oh yeah, he said it's the IRS. Okay. All right, Pat, I will check. I mean, Anthony should be working with you on that. So if you have not heard back from Anthony, I'll follow up with him about that. Uyi wants me to do the 3, 2, 1. Okay, it'll be you and me. Well, hang on. I'll do the 3, 2, 1 speech just for you. Just for you. Anyone who wants to stay on can. But I also want to, I want, if those of you who've heard it a million times, feel free to leave. Okay. Kelly says, thank you for the lesson today. It was helpful. I'm glad to hear that. I will continue editing that, and hopefully by the end of today, I will let everybody know. Again, if you're not in the gym, make sure you grab the link now. Joel, if you want to put the exercise link, it's not edited yet. So, but you'll need the link, and then you'll just refresh it or open it again. Let's see. Paul says Gap also says that about inventory. Okay. All right. I think that's everybody. Anyone who wants to stay on for the 3, 2, 1 speech, you're welcome to stay on. It's just for those of you who've heard it a million times, and I know we're running late. But let's go over it again. Okay. All right, Crystal, thank you. I'm glad. Well, you'll be able to refresh your memory. No problem. 2 says the 3, 2, 1 method works. I did it all of August, got a bunch of leads and hot prospects, sent out a few proposals, got a client, and I'm nurturing the rest for a future date. Hello? Awesome. Awesome. We need to grab that testimonial. All right, let me pull up the, for those of you who maybe you're new and you need me to hear this speech. Okay. Here we go. Just to give credit where credit is due, this method came from Angelique Ruers, who is the owner, founder, CEO of Bold House, which is who I was just with in Florida this last week. And Angelique is and Bold House. The purpose of this company is to help land corporate clients. So she works with people to get them in Apple and GE and Google, like places like that. So her programs are not necessarily for you because that's not what you're doing. But so much of what she teaches is applicable to you, and that's why I like to take her stuff and kind of like transform it for and adjust it for you guys, because it's just, oh my gosh, so valuable. And again, I thought that when I was with her this past week. So one of the things that Angelique teaches is this concept of gold bars, not gold stars. So, and she actually, when she first became a freelancer, she worked for a Fortune 500 company, Fortune 100 company for many years. And she quit and to do her own thing, become a freelancer. And when she first started, she was doing all of this activity, and she's like, I'm working on my business all the time, and nothing was popping. She wasn't getting any clients. And then she realized that the things that she was working on were things that would get her gold stars. So she was working on her website or writing blog posts or straightening her desk, or just things like that, or working on a product offering document or whatever. And all of these things felt to her like they felt to her like she was working on her business, but she wasn't actually doing the things that were going to make her money. Okay, so she was giving herself gold stars, but she wasn't doing the things that would lead to gold bars. And the thing that she needed to do, the thing that we all need to do in order to make money, is to have a conversation. So she says conversations create cash flow. And I want to reiterate, that is conversations, not content. Okay, so all of the content that you build and all of the stuff that you post on LinkedIn, whatever, all of it should be designed specifically to lead to a conversation, because it is the conversation that creates the cash flow, not just your flurry of activity of posting stuff all the other time, all the time. The other thing you need to be aware of is what Angelique calls the hierarchy of prospect readiness. Okay, so of all of the small businesses that are out there, a certain percentage of them are never going to need a bookkeeper, or they're never going to hire a bookkeeper. They're going to go out of business, or they're going to forever do it themselves. And honestly, if they're doing it themselves, if the business owner is doing the bookkeeping themselves, then they are not very successful at their job. If they have time to do the bookkeeping, that means their business hasn't grown enough. They are not successful enough probably yet. So there's all of these times that, maybe they're going to be ready when a certain thing happens, when they land this big contract, then they will need it. Okay. A certain percentage will be ready eventually, but they're not ready yet. So they are growing, but they're not growing fast enough to need you. Some of the businesses are almost like they're almost ready. It's like, oh, I just got to get these things done, and then I'm going to hire my bookkeeper. And only this tiny percentage, 1 to 3%, are actually ready at any given time to hire a bookkeeper. So you just need to get that in your mind and just kind of settle in and come to the realization that the majority of people are not going to hire you. Okay, so don't put the pressure on you that you have to close this particular client, because if you're talking to a business owner, maybe they're further down on the hierarchy, they're not ready to hire somebody. Okay, so that just relieves a lot of pressure. The other thing to remember is that the average person or company needs to have 7 interactions with you. And this is proven study after study after study. They have to have 7 interactions, positive interactions with you before they would even consider you. The whole point with working in business is that you have to get people to know, like, and trust you. Your bookkeeping in particular, bookkeeping especially, is a very, very high trust business, okay? Handing over money to somebody, like to manage my money, like that is, you have to like super trust somebody in order to open up your business to them, okay? So even when you start interacting with people, just remember that it's going to take them a little bit before they feel comfortable to working with you. All right. That said, let's talk about the specific 3-2-1 method. Okay. So the first step is to grow your network. Now, the chances that your clients are going to come from people that you already know is very, very slim. It's not none, it's not zero. I mean, everybody is a side hustle. So it's very possible that you could land a client from the people that you know, but it's not likely, okay? So you have to increase the number of people that you know in a methodical way. And the way that you can do that is 3 times per day to reach out to your existing network, the people in your existing network. And by the way, one of the things we do in the cohort is help you identify your existing network. Because a lot of people, what is it? I think Angelique calls it like network amnesia or something like that. That, people tend to forget all of the people that they know. Like they far underestimate the people that they already know. So in the cohort, we're going to help you identify who is in your existing network. And then you're going to reach out to them 3 times per day. You're going to reach out to an individual specific person. Okay. This is not posting a flyer in your chamber of commerce or in your apartment lobby or something like that. This is not sending an email blast to everyone that you know. This is reaching out to individuals and asking them for an introduction. This is huge, guys. Huge, 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 huge. You are not, you are not asking for a referral. Do not ask your network for a referral. They don't know you. They might know you as a person, but they don't know how good you are as a bookkeeper. And it's not their job to do the marketing for you. Okay. What you're asking for is an introduction. Okay. An introduction. And the way you're going to get that is say, hey, guess what? I am a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, and I post QBO Quick Tips every week. Who do you know that would like to receive them? Okay. What you're trying to get an introduction to is a small business owner that uses QuickBooks Online. Okay. That's it. A small business owner that uses QuickBooks Online. It doesn't matter if that person is actively looking for a bookkeeper. It doesn't matter if that person already has a bookkeeper. It doesn't matter if that business owner is doing the books themselves. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it is a small business owner that is using QuickBooks Online. That's who you want to connect. You're asking for an introduction to that person, okay? And you're going to provide value. And you're going to say, hey, I post these quick tips. Like, who would want to receive them, okay? Who do you know that will want to receive them? Who do you know that's a small business owner that uses QuickBooks Online? I post these a couple times, and and you're providing value, okay? All right. So out of that activity, then hopefully, so you're now in a week, every week you're going to talk to 15 people. Now, you're not going to necessarily talk, you're going to message them, maybe you won't hear back, okay? Maybe some of them will say, gosh, I don't know a single small business owner, or maybe somebody's going to say, oh, I know 15 business owners. Like, I have told this story before. One time I was coming out of the gym, I was talking to the receptionist. The receptionist said, oh, by the way, like, what do you do? And I said, I teach QuickBooks Online. And she said, oh my gosh, I know 2 people immediately off the top of my head that could use you. Like, I didn't ask for anything. I just said, I teach QuickBooks Online. So like that kind of thing can happen. Like, and some, oh my gosh, like I know 15 people, or oh my gosh, I run this meetup and it's full of, it's full of entrepreneurs or what, like whatever. So some people are going to know somebody, some people are not going to know somebody, some people are like never going to get you back. Doesn't matter. Like the goal is, your goal should be to grow your network of potential business owners by 2 every week at a minimum. Okay. So you're going to make and strengthen connections 2 times a week by connecting to potential clients. Okay. Again, what is a potential client? It is a small business owner that uses QuickBooks Online. That's it. That's it. A small business owner that uses QuickBooks Online. And once you meet them or introduce them, you're going to say, hey, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor and I post QBO Quick Tips every week. Would love to stay connected in case you need any help. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Okay? All right. So once you do that, you're going to connect with them on LinkedIn. Now, you can use any social media platform that you want. I don't care. In the cohort, we focus exclusively on LinkedIn for a couple of reasons. One, because that's where business is done. And the other things that like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, like TikTok, like all of those things are generally for entertainment purposes. They are for connecting with family and friends. But LinkedIn is specifically for business. Okay. So no one's surprised that anyone is doing business on LinkedIn. So that's one reason. The other reason is because LinkedIn, because it is for business, LinkedIn will include your byline on anything that you do. Okay. So it will never just say your name. It will also say your name, QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, okay? Which is, you got to make sure that your byline says QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, okay? So that way, anytime you do anything, people are just reminded. It's like, again, it's like being a realtor. I'm Sally, a realtor, I'm Sally, a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, which again, I think is much more likely to get you conversations than a bookkeeper. Because if you say that you're a bookkeeper, then, they might only turn to you when they need bookkeeping help, but you want them to turn to you when they need QuickBooks Online help. And then that can ease you into, being a bookkeeper if necessary. Okay. So in addition to having your byline say QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, and I do recommend that it be QuickBooks Online rather than QBO because people don't know what QBO is. You're going to post these QBO Quick Tips, and this is how you're going to use those marketing prompts. You're going to use those marketing prompts just as a QBO Quick Tip, and you're going to post them a couple, and your network will, as the more you post them, then, your network will see them. Okay. And even your network of people who are not small business owners, now you'll like your friends, oh my gosh. And then they'll meet somebody. This happens in the cohort, right? In the cohort, people are posting all the time about, oh yeah, well, I posted this and then this random friend introduced me to, like, that's how it happens, guys. Okay. All right. And then you are going to, in addition to posting your quick tips, you're going to like and comment on other people's posts. Okay. Commenting is better. But liking will also see their, again, remember that 7 touches. Like they need to constantly be seeing you. They're not going to necessarily see you on your stuff, but they'll see you if you comment and like on their stuff. Okay. So you want to go on potential client, again, small business owners that use QuickBooks Online. These are the people that you are commenting on. I see a lot of people commenting on other bookkeeper stuff, liking other bookkeeper stuff, influencers in the space, me, whatever. That's not who you want to be. It's not harmful to do those things, but that's not your focus. Like your focus needs to be the people in your list who are small business owners. What are they saying? What are they doing? And then here is the thing. Oh my gosh, guys. Here's the thing. When you comment on their stuff, do not be sleazy. Do not be a sleazy snails person. You want to be a normal, natural human being. A normal, natural human being. To say, as a normal, natural human being, if they post a picture of their kid playing baseball, don't comment, hey, I am a bookkeeper. Do you need any help? I only charge this much amount of money. I literally get those. I have gotten those. Okay? Don't do that. Don't be sleazy. You want to be a normal, natural human being. Is it a kid, if they're kid playing baseball? Oh, hey, nice stance. Or, oh, hey, cute kid. Or, hey, so glad you're, I'm a big baseball fan too. Or like whatever, like a normal person would say. Be a normal, natural human being, guys. Do not be a slimy salesperson, okay? So you're going to like and comment on other people's posts. In general, all of this activity, the purpose of it is to keep waving your flag. I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, so that people know, so that it gets in their brain, okay? And you want them to, again, the goal is to get them to know, like, and trust you. Now, when you do all this activity, there's a high likelihood that people are going to start reaching out to you, okay? You're now going to be in people's awareness, and so when it comes up, oh yeah, I'm going to turn to Sally. Oh, I'm going to turn to Bob, right? So there's a high likelihood that people will start reaching out to you. But if they don't, then you want to be proactive in demonstrating your expertise. And by that, what you want to do is at least one time per month, okay? Your goal is to at least one time per month do a diagnostic review. If you don't know how to do a diagnostic review, learn how to do one. We offer it as part of the cleanup course. You learn how to do a diagnostic review and how to present your findings so that people, again, you demonstrate your expertise and that people realize not only how good you are, but also how messed up their books are. And but you don't have to do our cleanup course. There's tons of resources online. Other people teach how to do diagnostic reviews. People give away for free. It's on YouTube. It's on whatever. It's all over the place. Just learn how to do it so that when you get to the conversation, you know what you're doing. If a month has gone by and you haven't had a chance to do a diagnostic review, it's time for you to proactively reach out to those people that you have interacted with. Please don't say this to a brand new connection. Somebody who does not know, like, and trust you. They're random, okay? Don't do this. If, however, you've been connected for a couple of weeks, you've liked each other's stuff, you've commented, they kind of know who you are, right? Then it's an opportunity to say to them, hey, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Would you like me to take a look at your books and see how you're doing? No obligation, okay? Now, maybe they're going to say no. Maybe they're going to ignore you, right? But maybe they'll say, yeah, no obligation. And then you have an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise and show them that, what's wrong with your books or whatever. If you're in the cleanup course, another way to kind of ease into this is to say, hey, I just finished a course on diagnostic reviews. I would love some practice. Could I practice, on your books? No obligation. I'll just take a look. I'll write up a report, and that would be really helpful for me. And it would be helpful for you because then you'd get some insight into your books. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. But you're doing this with somebody you've already established a relationship with. Don't do it cold. Oh my gosh, it's so sleazy. So sleazy when you try and sell your stuff 5 seconds after meeting somebody, right? You don't meet somebody and then take them to bed, right? You want to date them first, okay? All right, that's it. Let me see what is happening in the chat now that I've gone through my big speech. Okay, let's see. I don't know who stayed on. Yes. 2 says, it works only if you work it. Absolutely. Uyi says, the emphasis is to work it. We could quickly give excuses for the fact that we are busy. Making it a routine is the secret. Yes, and that's why we have the cohort, so that you can stay accountable with a group of people also doing it at the same time. Uyi says, that is why I sit through it weekly. Content creation is not for the faint-hearted. Yes. Let's see. Boy. Let's see. 2 says, what also helps is I attend networking events and work the 3-2-1 into my interaction with people I meet. Exactly. And we talk about this in the cohort too. You go to networking events, you meet people, you collect business cards, and then you go on to LinkedIn and, you connect with them. If you can leave them a note, say, hey, it was nice meeting you at the thing, whatever. But hopefully if you do it fresh enough, LinkedIn just changed the rules so you can only add a note like 5 times. What did we just say, Uyi? Is it 5 times a month now? Or I don't know. It's 5 times a something. And so you can't always add a note, which makes me sad, but probably people were abusing it. So hopefully you want to meet people who are already, that know who, remember who you are. Either they were introduced by so-and-so, or you met them at a networking event, or you met them at the farmer's market or whatever. All right, Kristen says, do you connect with everyone that you network with or just the ones that are in your niche? It does not hurt. It does not hurt to network with everyone because you can always get introductions, okay? So it doesn't hurt to do that, but it's better. You should focus your efforts on your niche for sure, okay? And if you do have a very specific niche, so Uyi, for example, does e-commerce, and so it is, if I were you, Uyi, I would make those, quick tips, e-commerce quick tips, e-commerce QBO quick tips or something like that, so that people always associate you with the niche. But yeah, so that's, definitely focus there, but it doesn't hurt to just connect with everybody. You don't want to abuse it, because if you're using the free LinkedIn, you have something like 20 connections per day or week or something like that. So that's why we say, like, you're just doing, 3 per day will keep you under the radar for free LinkedIn. All right, two says, I try to make connections with everyone. Uyi says, you never know where business will come from. Yes. Pam asked me about Alignable. I don't have an opinion on Alignable. You can use like whatever you want. The reason that I love LinkedIn is because of that byline. I don't know if Alignable does that. I don't know how it works. I don't know what the rules are. But I know that, business, that's also where businesses hang out. So yes, you can do all of that. We only teach LinkedIn in the cohort because of that byline. But but yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, Kristen says, how do you connect with certain business owners that are not on LinkedIn but are not in your niche? I don't know. Did you mean are in your niche or not? I don't know what you mean by that. There might be a typo there. So, you have to decide, you have to figure it out. We had this question in the cohort too. It's like, oh, I met this business owner, but he's not on LinkedIn. What should I do? I don't know. Figure it out. How are you going to stay connected with this person? How are they going to get the quick tips? Maybe you send them a physical postcard in the mail with the quick tips. Oh, I started to say that about the realtors, is that I once knew a realtor that would send recipe postcards in the mail, right? Like that's their value. The purpose is to just constantly remind you that they're a realtor, but they give you something of value. And so I would get these postcards that were a recipe, and they were actually pretty good recipes. Would get a recipe, so that was like a value add, but then it also helped me remember that he was a realtor. Okay, so it's the same kind of thing, that you're like giving value. Here's a quick tip. Here's like a thing in QuickBooks Online. You're developing your expertise, sending them value. If they're not on LinkedIn, Figure out another way. Maybe you want to send an email newsletter. Maybe you want to send them postcards. Maybe you want to stop by the office once a week and say, hey, like print it out. If it's a local person, send it out. I don't know. Like, you be creative. You be creative. All right. 5 times per month. Oh, Lindsay, I forgot that you were on the chat too. So 5 times per month is how often you can add a note. So, which is kind of a bummer. Uwe says, I connect with them, and once I get a notification, I send them the first note. Okay. All right. All right. So I think that's it. I don't know who all stayed on with me until the bitter end here. This was a long one. But anyway, so yeah, build your email list. You have to be careful with email because you want to make sure that you're not spamming people. Okay? Like, you don't spam people. Don't be sleazy. Don't be slimy. Be a real person. Be a normal, natural human being, and then people will connect with you. It's not change your focus from I'm trying to get a client to I'm trying to be useful, trying to be valuable to people. I think I told this story when Lindsay, you'll have to remind me. I told the story at some point, like during the cohort, about the guy that won the Survivor, the first season of Survivor, Richard Hatch, I think his name was, and his strategy was he always was the one to catch the food. He totally focused on being the one to catch the food, and so he never got voted off. Because nobody ever wanted to vote him off because they're like, if we vote him off, how are we going to get food? So like, be that guy. Be the one that is adding so much value that nobody wants to vote you off. Okay? So add value. Don't be sleazy. All right. Let's see. Oh, Pat says this is, I don't know if it's male or female. First time. Excellent. I'm so glad. All right. Glad to have you guys. As I said, this is a long one. I think it's time for us to go enjoy the weekend, right? So I'm going to get this. I'm going to go grab some lunch, and then I'm going to get this exercise edited so you can go through it yourself. I know we had some people who were confused despite my excitement that we were going to have all these aha light bulbs. But anyway, I'll get the exercise edited so you guys can go back and do it again. And don't forget, if you want to join the next cohort, then email support@fastandeasyqbo.com and we will get you on the waiting list. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited about your future. You guys have a fabulous weekend. I can't wait to hear your success story.